I have been waiting to make this video very patiently for a very long time. If you followed my channel, you've seen all the Pokemon Switch speculation videos over the last 6 months. I started them off with skits, and I thought those were pretty funny. I actually had a big culmination of all those skits, like a big skit planned for the intro of this video, but I decided not to because I was digging through some boxes the other day and was just looking at old things from when I was in kindergarten and preschool, and found some old Pokemon memorabilia. And since the new games, Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, are going to be Pokemon Yellow remakes, I thought it would be fitting to show off some merchandise from that time when the games were first released, almost 20 years ago. So without further ado, this definitely isn't like a huge Pokemon collection, so don't think that this is like a collection. This is just some stuff that I found in like 7 different boxes, all scattered. But so here's the first thing. I got these Welch's jam jelly jars, whatever you want to call them. This one is Meowth. This is number 4 in the series, if you can see there. It has his Pokedex number as well. And then I also have this Psyduck one, which is pretty cool. I think this is number 7. So I definitely don't have all of them. I'm not 100% sure how many there were in that set, but if you know anything about that, let me know in the comments. I'd love to learn about that. Second, in my perishable food Pokemon collection, I have these like button things. I definitely don't have the full collection of these either. I think these were from some Kraft macaroni and cheese boxes. They're like little tokens. I have a bunch of them. These must have been a little later because, as you can see, there's a bunch of Gen 2 Pokemon as well. But yeah, I guess this was just popular around this time to advertise your franchise on perishable food items, I guess. So yeah, there's that. Next, I got these Pokemon playing cards here. You can see I was trying to sell them at a garage sale. They're in this tin. Pokemon playing cards. These are back from 1999, way back when, almost 20 years ago. What the heck? Yeah, so here's the Pokemon playing cards. They're not actual Pokemon cards. They're Pokemon playing cards. You play with them. So yeah, the diamonds are Pikachu. The spades are Meowth. What else? The king has like scenes from the anime, which is kind of cool. From the first episodes, there's Charizard burning up Team Rocket. Hearts are the Staryus. And what's the last one? Bulbasaur is clubs. So yeah, there we go. Some Pokemon playing cards. And this is kind of the last piece of memorabilia I have, but my mom actually worked for United back in the day, and she knew a bunch of the pilots. I'm trying to get it to focus in on the date there. This is from the grand opening of the official Pokemon Center in New York. This is a mug from that. I guess one of her pilots went and he grabbed that for me. I have a bunch of foreign Pokemon cards as well. I don't have any of them right here, but I have like German, Chinese, Japanese, all of those different types of Pokemon cards. That's the last piece of merchandise I have, really. I was going to show some other pictures. I have so many drawings and stuff of Pokemon from when I was young. I could do like a whole video on it, but I guess I'll just show. This is another piece of Pokemon merchandise, a little notebook that I had. This is also from 1999. It's called the Pokemon theme book. There's my handwriting from 2001 or 1999, whenever that was. But what's great about this is in this book, I drew every single Pokemon that existed at the time that this was around. They definitely weren't in order, so it didn't like start with Bulbasaur or whatever. See, I started with Ghastly and Gengar. And then I must have just been like, oh, I'm pretty good at this. I can just draw the whole 151. So I think this is Psyduck and Golduck, I want to say. Because the Golduck, he has the little red thing on him, I guess. What else? I think there's Pikachu. Here, I'll just show one more. There's Charmander and Charizard, the whole line. Beautiful stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to show some memorabilia from when Pokemon Yellow was first released. But this year, we're getting a whole new experience in Kanto. Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. And I'm here to tell you everything you need to know about these two releases. So this is going to be a little different style of video than I normally do, less scripted. I do have some notes here in my hand. If you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at, but I'm just going to pick apart this trailer and pause at all the important points and just kind of talk about what it means and give my opinion. So here we go. Right off the bat, he's playing Pokemon Go already. So this is very largely tied into Pokemon Go, almost an extension of some sort, but I guess I'll get into that later. Yeah, he's playing Pokemon Go, puts it away. There's Pikachu in the real world. He was playing with Pikachu in the real world. Now he's like, I want to go back home, but I'm going to bring Pikachu with me. And I wonder how we could play with Pikachu at home. Wouldn't it be great if we could play Pokemon Go like in a fun way at home? Oh, well, there he goes. Pikachu from Pokemon Go going straight into the Switch. Okay, there we go. OMG. This was an OMG moment. Seeing those HD graphics, it looks a lot better in like those first couple shots. It's like, wow, because they're really close up. And I even think that these might be from like cinematics, those opening shots, but it does look pretty good. And then you get into it. As I've watched it more, I've kind of realized, well, yeah, it really is like a 1080p 3DS graphics Pokemon game. But it looks amazing. I mean, look at that. And then there could be cutscenes. Also, I guess a point that I want to make about the top-down style staying true to what it has been in the last couple has been forever, and it looks similar to the last couple generations, is that Kanto is probably going to be largely the same map that we know and love already. Of course, it's going to look a lot different, but I think the routes and everything is going to be pretty much the same. And they even said that in the press conference, that some things would be geographically different, but it's mostly going to stay the same. But just wanted to point that out there. Oh yeah, another point I wanted to point out was that you can see right here, you can see that the Eevee is on the head. So that just confirms. I never believed that Lapras screenshot of the person riding around on a Lapras with an Eevee on his head, I never thought that was real, but that just kind of proves it right there. But yeah. So we got one Joy-Con, and he's wandering around. He sees it in the real world. So I was kind of salty here. This is exactly what we see in Pokemon Go. Literally the same background, the same sprites, I can't call them sprites, but you know what I mean. I was a little salty. As we go further, you do see a different background, like a different environment, like an ice environment. But just the fact that they straight up copied it right from Pokemon Go is kind of disappointing. See, it wasn't ice, but it had like the water background. So they tried to switch it up a little. So I'm not as salty. The throwing itself looks a little awkward, but I'm sure it'll be fine. One thing that I do want to point out about the throwing before I get into this co-op part is that the developers pointed out that you would get experience points from catching Pokemon that way. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work, but you'll get experience points from battling and catching Pokemon. But I'll get more into that later. So here's the co-op. Wonderful. I don't have a lot to say about that. You just shake the Joy-Con and you're right there. I guess... Okay, so here I'll talk about my second qualm. If you've watched my Pokemon Switch speculation videos before, you know that I wasn't an advocate for having Pokemon just wander around in the real world, and this is exactly why. Because this just looks dumb to me. Like they look so scattered, and they're just like walking around randomly. Also another thing, this is Mount Moon, which is one of the more iconic places from Pokemon from the Kanto games. And like Pokemon like Clefairy. Clefairy was a big deal back in Gen 1. Clefairy had, in this particular cave, I looked it up, on the first level, Clefairy had a 1% chance to show up, making it very lucrative. Like it was a big deal. And that's what made getting those special Pokemon special. And this is just... I don't know. I hope that they make it look a little better, like they blend the Pokemon into the environment a lot better in the Gen 8 games, but And I'm sure it will look better than I'm assuming this looks right now, but this just doesn't look good to me yet, but we'll see. This is another part I'm confused about. Like, we both have to throw the ball and then they combine, but whatever. Yeah, okay, so here, there's a lot of information to take in here. First of all, yeah, the battling is traditional. Second of all, it's co-op battling against a single Pokemon. Like, the enemy trainer is not going to send out 2 Pokemon, which would make this really easy. So I hope that they either scaled the difficulty up if you're playing co-op, or they change this and they just make it so that if you're playing co-op, every trainer battle you do is going to be a double battle. Of course, you can see, I can't full screen it, so you can't see it very well. This trainer only does have 1 Pokemon, so maybe the co-op battles do actually happen, but this guy happened to only have 1 Pokemon. I thought that'd be weird that they did that, but that's just speculation. Also, what you can notice here, down here, you can't see it very well because I can't full screen, but you can see that Bulbasaur and all of the Pokemon have levels. So there's no CP from Pokemon Go. Yes, the catching is the same, but there's no CP. And you can also see underneath there that both of them have experience bars. So there's going to be experience points system. And they've said that before at the press conference, that you will get experience points from battling and catching Pokemon. But let's move on, I guess. Yeah, but yeah, the animations look great. Loved that. Okay, here we go. Oh, look at that thing. Beautiful. So yeah, this is the Pokeball Plus. Of course, it's a Joy-Con, but it can also be taken around with you. It lights up. It's got a thumbstick on it, so you can walk around normally with this. You can just play the game with this, because you really only need 1 button to play this game, I guess. Like they said, you can play with a single Joy-Con, so it makes sense that you can just play with the single ball as well. Thank God that there's a wrist strap, because I can imagine that the first couple times that I throw this, I'm going to be like, whew, and then actually physically throw it. So make sure to put on that wrist strap. Just a very fair warning there. The video cut out. I'm not sure what happened there, but right back into the action. Here we have the Psyduck on the screen. This is a very Pokemon Go style screen where you can look at all of your Pokemon. We see some stats in there, but not like in-depth stats, just height and whatnot like we see in Pokemon Go. Here we see you can transfer Pokemon from your Let's Go game into the Pokeball Plus. And as you can see, they go out to coffee or go out for a salad. And you can't hear it in the video, but the Pokeball is making Pikachu noises because she put the Pikachu in the Pokeball. I think this is awesome. I would love to carry a Pokemon around with me everywhere. I really hope that they integrate all 151 Pokemon sounds into the ball so that we can hear all of their cries and not just Pikachu and Eevee. But either way, the Pokeball Plus looks really cool. And here we go with the Pokemon Go section. Again, this game is going to be an extension of Pokemon Go. I think this means that we're never getting PvP in the Pokemon Go app itself. We're never getting trading in Pokemon Go app itself. You just have to get a Switch and buy this game, and then you can carry them over. It's going to make money for both Niantic and Nintendo. It's a pretty great idea, I think. Probably the best way they could have done things. So this is this is just the part where they transfer it into the Go Park. So I think this is going to be what the Safari Zone was. Excuse me. They've said that you'll be able to access the Pokemon Go transfer system about halfway through the storyline. They said that at the press conference. So the original Safari Zone was in Fuchsia City, and that's I think that's like maybe the 7th city, which sounds about halfway through the game, I guess. There's only 8 gyms, but I'm sure there'll be some post-game with that Mewtwo cutscene. I guess spoilers, we're not to that yet, but my guess is Go Park is going to be the new Safari Zone. And here we go with this gift thing. You can only, from what we can tell from this video, you can only send the gift from the Switch to the the phone, the Pokemon Go game. They don't talk about it too much right there. They talk about it at the end. We'll get back to that. Play your own way. Okay, one of the biggest reveals right here. Ride Pokemon are back. We knew this from the 4chan leak, and obviously we saw the Lapras screenshot of months before that. And what's interesting is there's an Onix, and you could also see that the Charizard was kind of flying over. Like it almost looked like you could control the Charizard while it was flying, rather than just pressing fly and then having the Charizard, having that cutscene where the Charizard picks you up and takes you to whatever city you choose, like in Sun and Moon. It looks like you can actually like fly him around, and also there's the Onix there instead of the Tauros. So you might be able to choose which Pokemon you can ride on, which would be so freaking sweet. That was the one thing I didn't like about PokeRide, is that you were never actually riding your own Pokemon. It felt very like detached from your actual Pokemon. Like the PokeRide Pokemon weren't real. So I think it would be great if you could actually ride your Pokemon. But here we go, the second big reveal. People have been clamoring for this. This was also in the real, excuse me, everyone's going to give me crap for that in the comments. The real leaks, Pokemon Go leak, or Pokemon Let's Go leaks, following Pokemon. All of the animations look sick. Are you serious? The Gengar like floating around, and Electrode is just, looks so good. Oh, feels so nice. And they just confirmed you can bring legendaries over to the Go Park. So it kind of seemed like the initial reveal of bringing Pokemon from Pokemon Go over to the game was like something you could only do right when you catch that Pokemon. But I mean, if you can bring a Moltres over, you can probably do whatever Pokemon that you already have. Like if you caught a Pokemon in Pokemon Go from 2016, you can probably transfer it into this game, is what I'm getting from this. So here we go, just more stuff. Oh, here's all the casual stuff. You have the little petting thing, so I'm sure you'll be able to feed your Pokemon just like in the most recent games. And we have the dress up for Eevee and Pikachu. Not my cup of tea, but I'm definitely going to dress them up anyways. There we go. Another big reveal was Team Rocket. Not a huge reveal, I guess, but they're there. Team Rocket's back. It's cool, I guess. I guess that was probably in the Sylph company's building. Cool little throwback there. All of these animations look great. That Magikarp thing is probably from a cutscene, and then this self-destruct animation. Are you serious? Look at that self-destruct animation. It's like so good. I'm so excited. And here's what I was talking about before. The Mewtwo thing, which is another cutscene. So this is a common theme. I think we're going to get some like little minor cutscenes similar to what we saw in like Mario Odyssey in this game, which is really exciting. It's fully what I would expect from the first console semi-main series Pokemon game. So exciting. Your first adventure. Oh, this is where I started tearing up. Oh, in a new style, though. Oh, Eevee. Oh, and where's the box art? Where is it? Yes. Feels so good. Finally, just feels so great. Yes, okay, and then, yeah, they say you'll meet a special Pokemon, which is apparently a Pokemon that we've never seen before. And like I said, it looks like you can only get it in Pokemon Go, which I thought was kind of interesting. Maybe we'll learn about that at E3. There's so many things that we could possibly learn about at E3. So I think that's basically run its course here. Next, I'm going to talk about some points that might not have been in the initial reveal that were revealed at the press conference. So here you go. So these are just some points that I was able to pull from the press conference that happened after those initial reveals yesterday. So the first is that Eevee and Pikachu, or at least the starters, depending on which game you purchase, will not be able to evolve at all in these games. You'll be able to catch wild Eevee or Pikachu and evolve those, but the Pokemon that you get in the beginning that stand on your head or ride on your shoulder, they won't be able to evolve. I thought that was kind of interesting, but kind of cool. You can battle with them, but no evolving. Second, there will be online play. There's not going to be any ranked matches at all, at least for the initial future, but there will be PvP online, as well as local wireless PvP, as well as trading online and local wireless trading. This just furthers my point that Pokemon Go is never going to have PvP or trading at this point. This, I think, has been in the works for a long time. If you go back and look at interviews with John Hanke, who is the CEO of Niantic Inc., who created Pokemon Go, he just dodges these questions and says that they definitely are coming, but just dodges them. So this kind of makes me think that this has kind of been in the works for a long time. But anyways, Alolan Pokemon will be in this game. I thought that was another weird, interesting point. They didn't further explain this at all, how you'd be able to get them, but my guess is that these will be exclusive through transferring from Pokemon Go. Alolan Exeggutor was just released yesterday, and they're releasing all of the Alolan forms ahead of Gen 4, which was kind of weird, but now, in retrospect, kind of makes sense. I think those will be exclusive through Pokemon Go. I think it'd be cool if we could go to Alola in Pokemon Let's Go Eevee or Pikachu, but I doubt it. Also, there will be no breeding in this game, further implementing that no ranked, no competitive modes here, no breeding in this game. You can just catch them or transfer them from Pokemon Go. Hate it or love it. I'm sure breeding will be back in Gen 8 though, which I'll get to in just a sec. The Pokeball Plus, I guess these are my last points. The Pokeball Plus is planned to go beyond these games, not just Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu and Pokemon Go, but you're going to be able to use this with future Pokemon games as well. Not sure whether they'll integrate it with Quest or the Gen 8 titles. They haven't said anything about it yet, but they did say that future Pokemon games would be able to integrate into that Pokeball Plus, which is good because it is going to be priced around $50. It's around 5,000 yen right now is what they estimated, so it's probably going to be about 50 American dollars. And the last point that I want to make here is just that the 2019 titles are going to be released as Gen 8, and I think just the fact that they slipped that in there was just to say, yeah, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu are kind of main series Pokemon games. They're yellow remakes in pretty much exactly the same way, but really they're just made for that better Pokemon Go experience, and the people who just love the core series, I don't want to say hardcore, but the RPG elements in there with all the breeding and all the stats, that's coming in 2019. And hopefully the graphics are better. I'm maybe looking for like an over-the-shoulder 3D view in Generation 8. I'm sure I'm going to make a million speculation videos about that, so I'll cut myself off there, but just remember that. Keep this in mind. Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu are not like the end game of Pokemon Switch games. So that's about all I got, guys. I'll be honest, this isn't exactly the first Pokemon Switch game that I was looking for, but it will satiate my appetite. In fact, it'll do a lot more than that. If you follow me on Twitter, you probably know that I play Pokemon Go kind of regularly, so I'm pretty happy about that. I think this will be a very good companion to that, and just a good remake series. I think that in the future, perhaps this Let's Go series could be the title that they use for reboots, where maybe in 2020 we get, instead of the next like Gen 9 game, we get Let's Go Umbreon and Espeon. You never know, and have like a Johto version. I could definitely see that happening. Either way, I'm perfectly okay with this satiating my appetite till at least the end of 2019 when we get that shiny new Gen 8 game. But let me know your thoughts on Pokemon Let's Go down in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe to my channel for the latest Switch content available. This has been Max from Max Culture, and thank you so very much for watching.